Hello, I'm Pam Carruthers of healingstars.com. This is the chart, the full moon, 6th of January 2023, the first full moon of this new year. And it occurred late at just gone 11 p.m. last night. I'm recording this on the Saturday. Now, always at this time of year, we have the sun in Capricorn and the full moon always is in the opposite sign. So this is the Cancer full moon. Here it is in this chart. I use whole signs to represent the houses and the colour wheel. So here it is, interesting, it's a lovely beautiful golden colour in this particular colour wheel. Now, Cancer is an emotional sign. The moon is happy here. It's exactly what the moon is all about emotions and feelings and family, importantly. And of course, the sun, Capricorn, the opposite, is to do with responsibilities, business, very masculine energy, although it's an earth sign. So it's earth and water, which is a good combination. Now, the sun here in Capricorn is also father type energy. And we have very powerful at this time Mercury retrograde. And Mercury retrograde is never a good time to publish a book, for instance, because of course in the news in the UK and worldwide, Prince Harry has published this book called Spare, and not well advised, I would suggest, by what he's sharing in that book so far. But anyhow, the Sun and Mercury join tomorrow on Sunday, that's the 8th, and this is known as, the Mercury, the Crown Prince or the messenger, entering the throne room of the king. Interesting symbology. We also, of course, have a combination, the Sun, Mercury retrograde, and Pluto is also here. Now, Pluto is all about hidden or buried power. And I've been looking at that dynamic of power in the last few days. Mars is also to do with power, action. Now, here's Mars retrograde still in Gemini. The good news, it really is good news. When Mars is retrograde, it's like you're trying to drive a car, but the wheels are spinning. You're stuck. So you want to move forward, but if you try and force it, it doesn't really work. The good news is that Mars is going direct on the 12th of January. It will still be in Gemini, but that hopefully will ease the problems that we're having in the UK at the moment of strikes with railways, for instance. That's to do with communication, and Mars is in the sign of Gemini, communication, and the communication isn't really working. Now, take this on board for you personally. Be aware of putting your foot in your mouth, getting caught in power struggles, conflicts, arguments, all of the above. Venus, I'm talking about Venus now. I call her she moved into Aquarius on the 3rd of January, and she's moving quite fast and will then move into her exalted sign of Pisces, and that occurs later in the month. That's on the 27th of January. So that is something very much to look forward to. Meanwhile, Venus in Aquarius is all about friendships. It's all about equality, seeing people as equals, and liberty, freedom. It's Aquarius's energy, humanity, networking, all of those things. Ideal time to be doing that, especially once Mars goes forward. Now, the Sun will move into Aquarius on the 20th, but meanwhile, we have got the Sun in Capricorn, and it will, of course, join Pluto. You can literally, the Sun moves roughly 1 degree a day. So I can see, there's Pluto at 27, here's the Sun at 16. So just do the maths, in 11 days' time, it will be with Pluto. Now that is only 1 day, however, we're building towards that. And that energy mustn't forget the elephant in the room, we have got a really good relationship to Uranus here in Taurus. Now, Uranus is all about genius, ideas that can come out of the blue. It's electrifying, it's unpredictable. We really, as astrologers, we cannot predict what Uranus will get up to. So sudden change, but change that can be inspired. And the other very important contact that Mercury makes, which it is doing virtually right now, it makes 3, and has done already 1, but it makes 3 aspects in a positive way to Uranus. 17th of December, 8th of January, and then again on the 30th of January when it's moving forward. And Uranus by then also it will go direct on the 22nd of January. All planets will be direct after the 22nd of January. Now that is a really positive, good indication that things will really start to move and shift. And that is, to me, brings hope. The other planet that is always important, I believe, is Neptune. And Neptune here in Pisces is in a difficult, is it difficult or is it easy? No, it's actually in a good relationship to the moon. It is, because that's a water sign. And Neptune is invisible. It's very, very emotional. And if you are a sensitive, by that I mean you're an empath, you're quite psychic, it's really tough right now, isn't it, to be aware of the negativity, the fear that the daily news is showing us. It's, mind-blowing in a bad way. Now, I don't believe in being the ostrich and putting your head in the sand and turning off the news. Personally, I don't think that's actually a very good idea, because the news is the collective. It's showing us what is going on. You know, as above, so below is the dictum of astrology. So Mars is retrograde, it's in Gemini, and we're having talks aren't happening, basically, with the unions and the government. Now, what is Cancer about? Coming back to Cancer and Neptune, it's very much about psychic energy of Neptune. It's also about mothering. That's what Cancer is all about. Where do you need mothering? And throughout this last 3 years with the pandemic, I think so many of us have got caught in retreat and forgetting about the basics of self-care. And also one healing aspect of this is, someone gave me this idea quite a long time ago now, is if you are in a difficult situation, imagine your older self coming and giving you guidance. You might even want to imagine, if you have a grandmother or someone who acts in that role for you, to be your guide, to give you comfort. And what is self-care? For some it's a cup of tea. For some it's a friendly conversation. I noticed that they apparently adopting what they call slow checkouts in some supermarkets. I love that idea. I don't want to do fast checkout, thank you very much. I want to have a conversation, a recognition that the person on the till knows me and says, hello, how are you? How are you doing? And it's a really important conversation for so many of us. I live on my own. I know so many of us, we live on our own, and we know people who do, who are lonely. So that's one thing about mothering and caring and nurturing. And the other aspect of when I get caught, as all of us do, and because I am sensitive to energy, and the one book that I really, really enjoy is the book by Caroline Myss called Intimate Conversations with the Divine. And it's about prayer, guidance, and grace. And I picked it up again yesterday to look at what she says. And in her introduction, she talks very much about the power of the divine, which is the pure power. Now that, to me, is like, aha, yes. And she says, a soul crisis requires the medicine of grace, administered via intimate personal connection to the divine through prayer. And that's why this book is 100 prayers that she has written about, and they are beautiful. I love her writing. I have seen her in a lovely conference once, a seminar she gave. She's very funny, wonderful woman. I highly ask you, because she gets this message, what is your prayer life? Like a hidden voice coming to her. And I go, yes, that's a very powerful, positive statement. And the power of language, which of course is Mercury. Mercury is the power of language. It's either a negative language or a positive language. And this is why the news as such, reporting, is it biased? Is it truthful? And in a personal way, how are we speaking? What is our language? When we see something happening, do we see it as a crisis? Or do we see it as an opportunity, as a wake-up call? And I do believe that all of us are going through a huge global wake-up call. And I could go on about this for quite a long time, but I will stop there. So thank you for watching. Pam Carruthers of healingstars.com, and I will be giving a webinar quite soon, much more of a masterclass on Chiron, because Chiron is there. It's at a right angle to this full moon. There it is in Aries, and it's a very important centaur is the energy of it. It's a very important process that started in 1977, and more of that later. So thank you for watching. Pam Carruthers of healingstars.com.